This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. This is Novo Mana, and this is the Technology Review Council. And today we are very pleased to have Anita Bedberg and Tim Corcoran from SEVA Exchange. And I will say that they are a repeat vendor. And I say that not as a repeat offender, but vendor. Let's make sure we get that right. But quite literally, I've had the pleasure of knowing both these two folks for quite some time. They were at our Technology Review Council before, and much has happened with the product since we've seen them last. So I'm very, very excited about them coming back, giving us some other perspectives, if you will, and quite literally taking us through a tour of this newer concept of the platform. So I'm going to turn it over to Anita and Tim. Go for it, and we'll just sit back and listen. Thank you.
Okay, just going to quickly share the screen.
Great.
So,
And there we are.
perfect. All right, the ball's all yours. Tim, go ahead.
Great. Yeah, so my name's Tim Corcoran, and I'm responsible for the operations of operations security and data privacy for the SEVA Corporation. As you've already met, our CEO, Anita Bedberg, is with me to conduct this presentation. And we're here to discuss building trusted communities around the enterprise workspace, okay? How it works locally and beyond. But before getting into this, I'd really like to thank No for giving us this second opportunity to bring our product to the table, and hope you get some good stuff out of it. Okay.
And Tim and Anita, I apologize. I meant to ask, did you mind if we have questions asked as we go through this? I will certainly watch the chat box, and most of our crowd knows to put their questions there, but certainly if it's something that's a burning question, I'll just say, hey, let's stop here and take this question live. So is that all right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so SEVA Exchange is a private social network with purpose. We're here to facilitate our clients' ability to effectively communicate and deliver on initiatives important to them. Enterprises can use SEVA in many ways. You can build management and bring management and employees together, work through HR initiatives, directives, opportunities, etc., and engage on issues of choice to address your corporate social responsibilities. And our services are secure and compliant, and your information is made available only to those you want to see it. Okay. HR experiences many problems in today's world. You know, some of them go back a long way. They've been repeated year over year. But more importantly, there are new experiences that we're seeing daily because of the way the world is moving and things are changing. We're seeing more challenges in communicating, managing, giving, and providing and implementing corporate social policies or policies in general. A few examples we have listed, but there are many. But you know, the remote workforce today really feels a lot more disconnected than it has in the past. They can't get together over coffee. They can't go into a common room and discuss together, or even go out to lunch together in some cases. The SEVA app facilitates some of that communication by being able to provide, you know, group sessions that are controlled, or individual sessions with management, et cetera. Okay. Employees feel disempowered with the new virtual workplace. Again, you know, you can't get together with your boss. You don't necessarily see a plan together. Again, with the SEVA network, we can engage, we can set up events, we can set up team meetings. But but they can also definitely, like I said, they can be locked down and be at the individual or group level, whichever way you would like. Walls are being built up between different organizations. And again, with the same kind of capabilities, we can break down some of those walls because groups can connect and work together. They can stay independent where necessary, but we facilitate that capability. And we also provide a great opportunity to get into the community, which is important in today's world. How we communicate and interact with the community as a company is really, really important. In the give back or the volunteering capabilities that companies like to deal with now, whether they give back hours or time from their group or have events where they support different kinds of giveaways and whatnot, can be coordinated and worked through working directly with community or working through event and advertising through the SEVA app. Our tools are available to make these kinds of things happen, both to you and others that may want to use the app or connect to your app, and they're very current and supportable. Okay. We're seeing more challenges in communicating, managing, and giving with these corporate-wide policies. The SEVA app platform has the ability to facilitate collaboration seamlessly to employees and are more connected. And excuse me, SEVA has the ability to create its own community and group within, so you can invite people in and out as you please, so you can keep that control and security around your base. Employees using the SEVA app are more empowered in an ever-changing virtual workplace, the new norm. We're giving them the opportunity to reach out and communicate and be able to receive the inputs that they're looking for. And we provide a bridge between the repository of needs and match them with potential solutions that are directly input from employees. They can ask and get things in return, and they can be shared as appropriate. This can provide companies with a fair and balanced way to represent the company and the team as a community. So reporting is always a critical requirement, but even in this space, it's very, very important because you've got a lot of opportunity for people to touch and look, and you want to see what's going on. Excuse me, but you also want to see how the things that you've set up are working. And we provide the information for the community that's important to them. We have a number of standard reports. We have ways for you to get information that you are looking for specifically. Okay. But if you look at what we have just some common topics that people want to look for. If you want to set up a community, for volunteering or a research community, who's available for the project? How many active employees are involved in as volunteers? So maybe you're limited in who you can choose, right? What does your employee community member need most, or what do they need most as a group? People giving that input that I was talking about before, able to collect and review that and figure out how you want to communicate with your team. What are your employees most passionate about in the workplace? You look at today's workplace, I'm sure things have changed quite a bit, and being able to get input from from people or communities within your group that don't have time to see you or have you're not available to them, have a way and a mechanism to get to you. And what do our employees prefer in a remote environment? Large or small or group settings? How do they want to interact with you on a go-forward basis? These are some of the kinds of things that get reported and asked about, and there are many others. But we're able to report those kinds of things, and you're able to look for other information that might be pertinent to the things that you're working on as you set up your communities. So to do this, you look and we have basically set up an ecosystem of these organizations or groups that will make this work, right? We have nonprofits, education, enterprise, and the public sector. Basically, we're trying to touch everybody, but have a logical way of communicating with these groups so we can set up the appropriate communities, tools, and capabilities for their use, okay? We do this by connecting communities through our services and capabilities, and you'll see some of that in a couple of minutes. And as I said previously, the good news is the community you build on the SEVA platform is your community. Only those that you want to see it can see it. Only those that you want to have access for input, can give input. And you can link other communities if you want to link other communities. So you can talk to one another, like I said, different organizations you may want to do, or if you have an HR group and you're working for a big company that is located in multiple locations, you can bring them together. There are a lot of different ways you can connect. And I think another really good connect is you can connect enterprise to other types of organizations, be they be education or the public sector, for instance, but also nonprofits. So you can figure out what your volunteering and sharing opportunities might be, or you can figure out how you want to potentially add education into your program, or give people ideas within your organization of what type of services they can get.
Tim, I'm sorry, I apologize for interrupting. Kevin mentioned this out, and it's quite right. For some reason, the top portion of your screen is just not coming. It's like it's cut off, and so we're not reading the full screen. I'm not sure the why of it.
I'm not controlling that, so would that be?
Yeah, like the word nonprofit organization is pretty much sliced off there. I'm not sure the why of it. Well, we'll try to make through it. Just be realizing that there's a portion of the screen we're not reading, so you may have to read that to us as you're going through.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either, by the way.
Thanks.
But that doesn't work, Anita, because now you're giving your whole thing. You got to go to present.
That's okay. Just we're missing the SEVA exchange at the top. That's fine. That's not a big thing. But something like the nonprofit, that's kind of out of our reach. So just maybe speak to that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So, but the key here is the community is yours, and it remains yours. All the who, what, when, why are all yours, and the content belongs to you and your participants. SEVA Exchange also provides the rules and consideration required to run such an environment, and provides tips on how to ensure a safe and compliant environment. Okay.
So Tim, if you don't mind, I'll pose a very quick question here. So based on your drawing here, what I'm hearing you say is the platform can be used in a corporate environment. So my employees, if you will, my population internally, can be actually bridged to external resources and external folks.
Yes. If you think about SEVA today, or just think about SEVA, SEVA is a bridge to wherever you want to go. And if you think about SEVA a little bit, you can take it out one more step. It basically is an infrastructure for you to build the environment you want to work. So if you start as a company and you build a community for you, and then you say, in my company, I have multiple departments and I want each department to have their own community or group within my community, you can reach out and build that way. If you start working with another company, like a nonprofit organization, and you want to connect to them so you can figure out how to share resource and service, you can connect that way. And if you want to bring individuals in, you can bring individuals in. The key is that the owner of the community has the responsibility and right to receive or reject. Once you receive or reject, you understand that who you bring in is part of your team and can see and share, and you want to make sure they understand the conditions and rules in which you work by. So it's your community, it's your environment, it's your capability to build off of. Okay, and then the other part of that is it just can't be shared out anywhere that you don't want it shared. So if you're a company, you can do that. If you're an individual that just wants to use the SEVA community, you can link to your family and have an independent private network, okay? Nobody else can see it. So nobody else knows that you're setting up a vacation to the Bahamas or figuring out how to sell and buy a house in another location. It's yours, okay? And I think that's the key. So you can build and create the environment you want. If you think about that in different locations like, let's call it, I'll use education, higher education for a minute. Think about an educational facility like a hospital. A hospital can make sure that it can support its client base being patients and its other client base being students, and figure out how to integrate those populations as they move people in and out of different places. They can actually set up different organizations on different kinds of systems and services and ensure they're still HIPAA complied while they're passing information to different people, et cetera, and so forth. So yeah, you can connect and set up however you would like to, and that's the I would say that's the biggest asset that SEVA has. We can build the bridges, and then we actually have the tools behind that to facilitate success. Okay.
So I know you've got a couple of use cases coming up, so I won't belabor this, but let me ask a very, very quick one. And let's say if I had an intern program, and I wanted to reach out to, let's say, local community colleges as a way of broadcasting, hey, we're interested in having you come and work with us as an intern, and let's go forward and here's some opportunities we have, in a sense, posting these opportunities. You're building that bridge, as you say, to another entity, but you're serving the purposes internally. So even if I said, gee, we have some interns and so on, I'm going to be looking for mentors. So internally, I may create a mentor community. So I'm thinking that literally what you're saying is that if we look at it the way you described it, this is a bridge of bringing entities or groups or communities of people together with maybe multiple purposes or driven through a single purpose, i.e., I could have this set up just for intern programs with mentors,
Correct.
something like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That gels in my mind a little better, but yes, very nice.
And I think that the key here too is because a lot of things you see say they do that and don't, but more importantly, what I think is good here is you're not putting anybody else's information at risk. It's between you and those in your community, unless you agree to share it, right? So I think that's really, really important today, because when you bring up a suggestion like that, you all of a sudden you've got resumes potentially going out that you want to make sure you control. You're managing them through company, okay, but you want to make sure that they stay in company and don't get out, et cetera. So within your community, you can lock down, and I think that's a real important when you look at today's world, especially in the company or enterprise space, because it's real important to be able to manage to things like CCPA and whatnot. And when you're managing to compliance activities, ensuring that you have control of where data's access begins and ends, that's important. So, okay. Is that good?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, where am I now? So our comprehensive solution, you're looking at a matrix here, but basically what we're trying to show here is that we allow positive aspects of a number of things. Social media, we ensure that we have good, solid social media capability. We have group messaging, event planning and engagement capabilities, fundraising, offering and requesting of goods, and tracking. We have all those tools in place within our app to ensure that the things that we're talking about can take place in a consistent and effective way. Our differentiators in this space are private and secure data, intelligent skills matching, data analytics and reporting, and project management capabilities. All areas that need to be focused on, in today's world, and in building good, solid community relationships. So with that,
I apologize again, Tim. I think this chart is so important for us to see. Anita, could I ask you to take us off of the presentation mode, because I think that top portion is what's cut off. So we're not seeing the comparatives, if you will. I think, like I said, the chart seems to be important. So maybe take us off of, yeah, presentation mode and maybe go to that slide. Kind of read it very quickly. There we go. Okay, so this is comparing SEVA, and what was missing was time credit rewards, which is an important aspect. People getting, in a sense, credited for what they're doing, and then it's up against Slack, Meetup, Volunteer Match, and I apologize, I can read. Oh, and Time Republic. So these are 4 other platforms in the competitive space to a degree of time communities that have these features to some degree. But SEVA, naturally, of course, is going to show all of those. But these are important parameters. I just want the crowd to be able to see that more closely. If somebody is just watching the video, they wouldn't have not have seen that. So thank you, Anita. I appreciate that.
Okay.
No problem. Do you want to continue?
Yeah, so and basically at this point, yeah, I actually do want to turn it over to Anita so she can give a demo and show how all these actions actually connect and how it works within our app. So
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me switch.
I have a feeling your demo is not going to be cropped.
I hope not.
No, it is cropped.
I'll let you know.
Anita, stop sharing your
I
screen.
didn't mean to cause a problem there, but no.
Stop sharing your screen and share it again, Anita. It's only
Okay.
sharing the lower 2/3 of your screen for some
Oh, it's
reason.
so weird. I've never had that experience. Okay, let me figure out how to share it. I don't know how to do that. How do I not? Oh, there we go. Okay, let's share again.
And
Yeah,
It says
this is
cameras
probably-
are detached, reattached cameras. I don't know what that
no,
means.
you don't need that. Just share the whole screen
Okay,
or try.
I will, okay. Main screen. Should I do applications or main screen? Just,
Main screen.
Mhm.
okay.
Looks
There we
pretty
go. We
good
got the whole
from here.
screen now.
Outstanding.
Okay, did it improve the screen? Can you see more of it?
Yes, we're seeing. I think your entire screen, including way across the top of the bar. So we're looking very good.
Okay.
I don't know who guided you through there, but thank you.
That was Adam Biebers,
Adam,
my husband.
pleasure to meet you.
And
Thank you for being on.
acting
That's all.
CTO for now.
There we go. You've just proven yourself. Thank you.
All right, demo away.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so this is just our website if you to see to check out the app yourself, and I'm going to click on our actual application. So we have a web application as well as a mobile one. The web application is obviously better if you are an admin of the group or community, and the mobile features are optimized for things that people want to do quickly. If you want to get reporting and things like that, using the web obviously would make more sense. So as Tim was mentioning, SEVA Exchange allows you to, your community, which could be in this case your company, to facilitate success, such as managing and marshaling workers to get things done at scale, executing projects and events. And the SEVA X platform will basically help you accomplish all those type of tasks. So if you look here where I'm sharing in the middle, it's similar feel to that social media aspect. You can certainly share something that you did. Maybe you helped a coworker because their car broke down, and you have a picture, a selfie you can share. Hey, giving my friend a ride to work today. That's just an example, but it could be a news article that features your company, and you want to make sure everyone sees it. And any type of thing that's relevant. This is not the place to share your brand new Gucci purse. Okay, just not. Sorry. Okay, so in terms of, this is the nitty gritty, the requests. When you create a community and you are the admin of it, and I'll go over how to become an admin of the community, you can make requests on behalf of the community for time, that's volunteering. Hey, we're hosting a Diwali event right now. Actually, Diwali is going on. We'd need some volunteers to learn a dance routine or help out with handing out, I don't know, goodie bags, whatever it is. You can make those requests. What we do is actually, if it's an event, we would create an event and then attach the requests separately to that event. I'll scroll down here. So you can assign whatever request you want to a particular event. There's all kinds of events listed here. And once that event is created, a messaging room will be also automatically created to all the people who agreed to be part of the volunteering. So you don't have to create a WhatsApp group or this and that. It's just automatic. It's pretty helpful here. The wine tasting fundraiser now is turned into a messaging room. If I want to message people, when I was talking about group messaging, you can certainly, you create a messaging room, and then you want to invite people to a group, from the group, and maybe I don't want everyone in the group. Maybe it's just a surprise birthday party or rather somebody's leaving the company and it's a surprise for them, a retirement. So I took that person out, and then you can create the name of the messaging room, surprise retirement party or something like that. It's pretty simple. That way it's not always an entire, if you think of WhatsApp group or Telegram or Slack, it's all the same type of people. Yes, you can individually select a few people, but this makes it like by topic by topic. So to me, it's a little more convenient. I know if normally if I'm part of a large messaging group, if I miss it a day or so, there's thousands of texts that have gone by, and then it's like, who has time for that? So this, I know, okay, well, this is the subject, it's important, I will go to that and just see what those specific topics are. So let me go back to the offers. Oh, wait, actually requests. So in this case, and Adam, you can chime in, or Tim, any of you, either one of you, some examples of goods and supplies. Maybe the company is teaming up with a nonprofit and they would like our company to supply backpacks filled with school supplies. So we can make a request for that, and to the employees in the company, as well as make it would be two requests for their time to fill the backpacks, and then goods, which usually the company could supply, right, for the backpacks. Maybe they just need to buy 1,000 backpacks, and that, so it would entail goods, money, and time. So you make all these types of requests. Fundraising, I mean, companies like to fundraise or be sponsors rather to fundraisers. So if a nonprofit were to create a fundraiser, a company could be a sponsor of that, and it'll show up in the event fundraiser that they created. And I'll go over that in a little bit. So this is a little bit different. It's kind of nifty. I would say it's an old-fashioned word, nifty. If you wanted to just borrow something and you didn't have it, maybe it's a PA system or a particular type of, Adam, come up with a technical thing that people might want to borrow, and you can ask, hey, does anyone have this? I need it for a day for this department. And maybe another department's like, oh, we've got that. We can certainly help you. You need a projector screen or whatever it is. You make the request, and another member of the department can certainly say, hey, we're happy to share this with you. And then one-to-many is a way to entice many people. So you say basically one-to-many is one person requesting help for many. And we usually primarily use this for a webinar or a seminar, something maybe that the company would like people to attend. Maybe it could be giving credits to just an orientation, a new software that's being, internal software that's being rolled out, and we need to get everyone to at least learn how to use it. from the old legacy system. And you can create that type of request for that particular webinar, seminar, and then each of the people who attend, if it's for an hour or so, will get a credit, which they can use personally later on. And any time that you put in, you earn these time credits. We call them SEVA credits. SEVA means selfless service, that they can use for other things. Now, mind you, it's not, you're not getting credits instead of being paid. We are not talking about not paying employees and just giving credits. These are for non-work related activities, like extracurricular activities within the work, as well as if they want to engage with the community. Does that make sense? Okay, so I will move on to the offers. So our platform allows any member who is part of this community, whether it's a work community or a local one or a nonprofit community, they can offer any of their time, and it might be something specific, like I am okay volunteering my time to teach a specific a project management tool. I can teach everyone how to use Jira. So I'm willing to give an hour of my time. For anyone new to Jira, I can certainly teach that. And by doing that, I will be getting credits for the amount of time I'm teaching, and all kinds of things. So here's, if I want to teach a class, this says Python, we'll say Jira class. I can put in the number of prep hours, number of class hours, the size I'm willing to teach, and a little general description, whether it's virtual or not, because these days everything is becoming more virtual. And this is only optional if you want to teach something and you think outside the community would also benefit, but usually for company things, I would just not check this box. So that's the opposite of the other one-to-many request, where you're incentivizing people to attend something, a class, but this one, people are willing to give a credit to learn that class, right? And then the other types of things people can offer is, if there's ever a need for a literacy campaign that ever comes by with some nonprofit, count me in. I'm willing to donate $50 to a literacy campaign. This does not mean that you're just giving money away directly. It's basically a pledge. So when something like that comes about, some type of request, then you'll get matched to it. And then goods, we were talking about different examples of goods that we could give away. For my personal thing, I would love to give goods if I have something that I know another parent in the company might want to use. Maybe it's a stroller. Say, hey, we outgrew the stroller. I'm willing to give it if anyone wants it. So not unlike Free Cycle, except it's a known community. All these people. But the example here was more of a nonprofit example. We're looking for winter coats for a homeless shelter. So maybe people could bring in gently used coats to give to that, or it could be a food drive for a local food bank that the company is sponsoring. Hey, we would need you to bring in non-perishable goods, canned goods. And I was mentioning before, you can make a borrow request. Here, people could certainly lend things out if you want to. Maybe it's a microphone or something, a headset, something that people could lend out if needed, and they're willing to offer it. So in case someone wants it, they can accept that offer. And I already went over the one-to-many request.
Anita, this is Nov. Just a very quick observation. And again, since I know about the product, I'm going to ask it gently. I don't want us to go too much in detail. But you mentioned credit. In
Yes.
other words, so the backbone sitting behind this platform is the ability to track what I am doing in some fashion. Time is probably the best and the easiest to understand. I'm giving of my time to do something for someone or towards some kind of goal. In doing so, that credit then gets converted into a bank of credit that I own. And others, as you mentioned, like if I'm teaching a class, somebody would say, well, I'll give you one of my credits to take your class. So there's a little bit of a bartering system within the constructs of this. The interesting thing I would ask of you is, do you have clients who are looking at this as a way of tracking that contribution, if you will, of the person with the credits they're accumulating and
Yes.
rewarding them in some fashion? In other words, here's people who get 100 credits will receive an Amazon gift card from the company, something like that. I'm just curious how that works, because certainly in the corporate environment, it's a little bit more of a little bit of a reward system. And today rewards are all over the place, coming out of rewards and recognition system. This is a very nice, different perspective. I'm not recognizing people. I'm actually doing things for people. Very different concept.
Yes. So I'm just clicking on my profile so people can, I can see, this is not people per se. This is what I can see, all my tracking of how much I've donated in the last 30 days or 90 days, year, lifetime. And then it could be money or it could be goods donation. It shows me how many credits I have earned, which is 3 hours exchanges that have been completed. I can put in a bio, I can put in a resume here, put in the skills that I'm willing to offer people. So understand that it's not necessarily always your professional skills. It might be something that you do outside of work, but you want people to know that you have that skill. So you can list them here. If I want to go see the member, what other people will see as not me, they would just see how many exchanges I've made. They'll see my bio, the skill sets, the interests I have, and then I will actually be given a score for trustworthiness and reliability. And man, when you're hiring people, that's a really big deal. So if people wanted to in the future, when they talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, they want to go out into their local communities to hire, they could find people with the right skill set and a high trustworthiness and reliability score and bring them in for an interview over just the typical standard method of either who you know or the college you graduated and things like that. If you want to bring in true diversity, I feel like this is a better way to do it. If somebody has the exact skill, but they may not have the formal education, but they have like 2,000 exchanges doing that particular skill, and their trustworthiness and reliability score is so high, why not bring them in? Why, screen them out of the pool because of their lack of degree and so forth?
Well, and I would even, I'll flip your statement slightly around that says, I have a wealth. I've been with this company 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about retiring, but before I leave, can I help others grow into something? So I have a wealth of understanding of things, maybe even not in a discipline, but just how this company works. Those kind of things are invaluable that we don't track in things like skill systems and so on. So as a result of that, we are losing what I call tribal knowledge. We're losing capability, and if you can incent people to give of themselves and their knowledge, that's a phenomenally great, I want to say, a bartering area. I'll teach you how to use a computer, so when you retire, you can keep up with your grandkids. In the meantime, teach me about the company, something like that. But I like this idea of the exchange back and forth. I can find people that help me. I can give of myself in things that they may need, et cetera, et cetera. I think I don't want to call it a barter system. That's probably the wrong word to use, but I think it has some great extensibility in the working environment we have today. Very much so.
It's a reciprocity-based system. That's the formal word for it.
That is a really good word, yes. I like that one.
I didn't want to start with that because that would confuse people, but yeah.
Great.
Bartering is usually, I'll give you, an old something of mine for some of your time. So you could barter with goods and trade with time, or good for good. This is not about that. This is really, we've made it so anyone can offer back to their community any help, whether it's time or money or goods or just lending something out, an item, or even a place. So that is the Yeah, so this is what I was wanting to show you. You might be wondering in the audience, how do you get this trustworthiness and reliability score? Well, every time there's an exchange, both parties in the exchange need to answer a few questions, and they also can put in an appreciation review, which will go directly to the person. No Yelp, no limiting it to only positive things, but it's more accurate. You see that, and then based on all that, our system will generate a trustworthiness and reliability. You are in no way giving somebody, a human, an Amazon rating of a 4-star or 2-star. We want to be very clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and to your point, we're also not rating your skills. In other words, that comes from the perspective. The trustworthiness has really nothing to do about the skills, nor the reliability. I think that's very, very, it's personal, but it's a meaningful rating system about just those things, trustworthiness and reliability.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to move on to groups, but I'm going to share another group that would make more sense, because the groups I've made here for Sample Town is more focused on communities. So let me go to the groups. So groups are like good for employee resource groups type of thing. So you can create it based on any interest or skill or topic or anything you want. So some examples here for this community. It's a hospital community network. It's called Allies for Racial Equity, Global Health at Dartmouth Hitchcock. There's Latinx Heritage. Since it's a medical thing, there's medical type things. This might be based on a location. Asian American Heritage, African American Heritage, vegan living. So when you do say, like a company does say, yes, we believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, this kind of helps you take it further and say, look, we want our employees to embrace their diverse sides and create these groups so they can communicate with others like-minded or interested in those things. So I really like these. You can also make them private if you don't want, maybe if it's work-related thing, it's a specific thing, staff only or senior management, you can always create groups and make them private so other people can't just join. If they're public, anyone is welcome to join the groups. So I did share the profiles, I skipped that, but I wanted to talk a little bit about reporting. So let me go back to this is not my community, this is a live one. So
yeah, before you leave that area, Anita, let me make a very quick observation, because I think, I'm very much aware of a number of clients out here. Diversity and inclusion is a very hot topic. And people tend to say we have goals, we have a culture that supports it, and so on, but they don't have something like SEVA inside. So, like you're saying, let me encourage people in like-minded concept to join, and you end up by having that group. I can see who's a really good speaker, whose history is been in these kind of groups before, to helping us to organize. What kind of things can this group even be thinking about in the outside of the work into the community? How do we make our presence known? How do we exchange ideas? So you've got a platform, again, that goes back to support the corporate goals, but really does let a lot of what I call individuality take place in the company. And so, let's have all the left-handed people join, that kind of stuff. There's nothing that stops that from doing that. And so that like-mindedness creates a kind of cohesiveness in a group, and perhaps even, I want to say, spurs a little bit more cohesive across the entire employee population. And I'm curious about, again, you probably got some use cases where clients are using these things fairly effectively, but you're quite right when you say, let me open up our group to include the rest of the community. Let the community know that this organization has a group like this. We talk about it amongst ourselves. We talk about it in the corporate world, and we are also reaching out to those in our community to help them. So again, you've got this really strong corporate branding of what we're trying to do internally that's reaching outside. I think that's got some great leverage, if you will, certainly in this day and age.
This is Tim. It also, what it does is it facilitates the walk, the talk of your culture as a company. So it's real important, and a lot of companies have lost the ability to say who they are and really walk the talk. And this facilitates that, and it facilitates it through the members of their community. So getting your employee to understand who they work for and why they work for them is as important as the work itself, right?
Yeah,
so
very good point.
Very good point.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Anita, and we're on the 10-minute mark, but keep on going, please. You guys have made significant progress in both, not necessarily just the platform, but its perspective and applicability outside of just the nonprofit world.
So one thing that's very important in the corporate world is when you create a group, that whether it's endorsed by the company versus, you know, an employee just creating something that they want to do. So we do have a formal workflow process. If you want to make that particular group that's created, it is sponsored, endorsed, whatever the word is, by the company. There'll be this little badge here. So so you know that particular group is sponsored by the company. It's for legal purposes. So but we want the diversity. We want people to feel included, but yet the company can only like sponsor certain types of things. So
okay, we're only got 10 minutes left, so we need to move
so let me go into
this.
reports, right? For reports, we do have like monthly reports, and I'm going to share a monthly report with you. Right now, it just kind of gives you the data every month of, you know, who are the new members, the events that were created. It's fairly basic, just the monthly reports. We are working on making those actionable insight reports, and we want to make leaderboard reports. I don't have names here, but you know, who are the top posters, top credit earners, top credit donors, top money donors, and so forth. Whatever, top lenders. And so it's more about celebrating those who are giving back to their community. It's not about shaming anyone. We don't have a report on who asked for the most help. It's not about that. We want to create a trusted community where you feel like you can ask for help when you need it, before it's too late, right? So many times a small little problem snowballs into a really large problem. Maybe you're having a bad day, your car broke down, and you're really late. You've got to go to a meeting, and you don't know what to do. You're panicked. No one's to help you. Well, you can just put a request, maybe saying, I need someone to drive me to work, or I'm stranded here, and have another employee say, hey, no problem, that's on my way. I'm happy to pick you up. And boom, what happens? That person saves the day. It's like a hero in that person's life, because they had a presentation to make in front of key corporate execs, and if they hadn't made it, you know, their whole career, and they get fired or whatever. Think how silly small little things can snowball. I like the fact that if you're able to just ask within this app saying, I need this right now, and someone's willing to help you right there, it's wonderful. It's like a way that you have a village to support you. You know that expression, it takes a village to raise a child, but it really is, it takes a village to thrive. And we're helping your company become that type of village, that it has each other's back within the company. So did I miss anything else, Adam or Tim?
I think you hit the major points given the time.
Okay, so we do have the platform in a way that you can add your logo to it and change the color scheme and make it your company's logo. We understand it's not just about our brand on everything. We want it to be yours, so we've added that feature as well. Wanted to go over. And the last point is how easy it is to bring on members to a community. You can just add a CSV file, upload it with the full name and email address. And one thing I like about this is once people are onto the system, Their personal information is never shared. If you need anything, you make the request, it gets accepted, and then you decide whether in your tasks here, whether you want to work with that person or not, and you see all the things in your to-do, what's pending, what's been completed, and it just helps you in life. It's truly a benefit to a company to work this way when the morale is down and they feel like no one's there to help, and they can just ask and they go, wow, this company really does care about my entire well-being. So with that, I am going to stop sharing. If I can still share, but if anyone has any questions, I'm opening that up for that.
Yeah, go back to the deck because there's a couple more slides.
Oh yes, thank you. My other half. So let's the deck.
It's your conscience, right?
Well, yeah, I thought I was the conscience, but he could be the brain today. All right.
There we go.
So where were we? We were, okay, so I showed the demo. We do have a nice 1-minute video that you can certainly share and take back with you. It's just at sevaxapp.com. You'll see this image and you can click on, it's a 1-minute video. I was going to share it, but we don't have much time right now. So these are, I mean, obviously why use us? We've already been recognized. Actually, there's been more awards more recently. We got nominated for an AI award.
Good present.
Oh, well then it cuts it off.
No, we fixed that problem.
Okay. Oh, okay, fine. Well, we're almost done. It's okay. So this is the testimonial we got from Dartmouth. You know, this customer, Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, had the following concern that their diversity and inclusion work that's underway needed to address not only the hospitals of Dartmouth Hitchcock and Geisel and so forth, but it needed to work across that entire system, including the surrounding communities and the university. So all of the known solutions they tried weren't as effective as ours. So by using SEVA-X, they were able to address all of the scenarios that they wanted, and our app really did check all the boxes. So this was a personal recommendation from the diversity director, Dr. Derek Lansigan. So, and if you would like to contact us, if you're more interested in just an exploratory call to talk about your needs and see if we can even meet them, please write this down, and it's my appointment calendar. You can schedule a 30-minute call with me. This is our main website. This is where our you can download our app. You don't even have to download it. You could just go to register on the web and use it on the web if people don't like to download apps. And really, that's about it. So thank you so much. Really, as always, I'm indebted to you, Nov. You've been amazing. And he's been my champion since it was just a mere idea. So thank you again. So any questions?
You definitely deserve that continuing opportunity, the tremendous strides of the product and the use cases. And you built an excellent platform that now has, I think, a lot more traction these days because of lots of things going on. So I think you're in an excellent place. I will ask the audience if there's any last minute questions. If not, I will close up the recording, and I will say to the audience out there, be prepared for more of these TRCs. We've got a pretty full slate coming up here for the next couple of months, so I'm very pleased about it. Anita and Tim and Adam, of course, thank you all very, very much for your time, and we'll be keeping an eye on you and dragging you back again as we get more and more use cases that make sense. So again, I will say y'all take care. See y'all soon. Bye.
Okay, thank you.